Hey guys, it's Maxwell here, and this segment of my YouTube videos is called the Wholesaling Elite War Room. Now, this actually isn't the war room. The war room is being built out. So in the meantime, we're gonna do a video here for everyone because on my Instagram lives and my YouTube lives, people have been asking, what's the structure of my company? So here we go. I've sat down, I've put together a sheet to show you exactly how I plan to scale my business from $50,000 a month up to $100,000 a month. So stay tuned, watch this video, and don't forget to subscribe and like if you learned something from this post. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of what we call the War Room. This is episode number 1. A lot of people have been asking me about breaking down how my business is structured. And a lot of you know that I'm trying to grow my business up to $100,000 a month. And right now we're currently doing about 50 grand every month, and we're scaling, and this is a new system that we've implemented in our business. Now, is it perfect? I don't know. I don't think so. But it is what's going to get us to $100,000. And as long as we stay consistent, we're going to be great. All right. So this is a $100,000 a month wholesaling biz structure. Now, I'm not saying this is the only one that works, but this is what's working for us. Okay. And if you guys don't know, my name is Maxwell. If you're watching this for the first time, please subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be doing a lot more of these videos, as you can see. All right. So let's go on to slide 1. The key players in this game, obviously me or you in your business, in your case. And this is how we break down our business. Okay. I have a virtual assistant lead manager. And I know a lot of people say, oh, why do you want your first touch to be somebody that's in the Philippines that can barely speak any English? That is not true. The people that I hire in the Philippines speak better English than you and I put together. So don't worry about them not speaking English, and you're going to be able to screen all your calls. All right. So my lead manager takes all the inbound calls for the company and calls any inbound marketing calls that happen, such as anything that comes through any inbound source that we have, okay? Whether that's Bandit Signs, Google pay-per-click, anything that requires somebody calling or submitting a form online on our website. You can find a VA around this price for about $160 or $240 a week. And what I've built in is somewhere around a $50 per a lead contract. And what a lead contract is it's their job to screen the callers as much as possible so they're not sending my acquisition manager on a wild goose chase every day, going after appointment to non-motivated sellers. It's their job to wring the information out of the actual the contact or the lead itself, okay? Next, who is also admin and a very important part to our company is the virtual assistant admin. This person is in charge of any list scrubbing, any admin work, any paperwork, any type of that stuff. And all these people work 40 hours a week for us. So they deal with anything that has to do with list scrubbing, Excel sheet building, posting Craigslist ads, anything that they can do on the computer that alleviates a lot of the stuff that we don't have to do. Okay, you can find this person probably around $150 to $200 a week. And what the kind of bonuses, you can do whatever you want, but what we do is they get $100 per attend contract month. Okay, let's moving on. Cold callers. Now I've mixed and played with this. I've tried to hire American cold callers here locally in the office. It didn't work out that well. Not saying I'm totally giving up on it, but what I found is cold callers in the virtual assistant world is also good. So all of these virtual assistants that we have work solely for us. They're dedicated. They feed their family off of the jobs we provide them, and it works well for us. So what we do is, if you're gonna hire locally, I'll explain what the locally person and how we have them set up. They get a $250 a week draw, and you can play with these numbers. These are things that just we have worked with in the beginning. And this draw is against commissions. So basically meaning we're going to spend $250 a week on them, which is barely, it's ramen noodle food type of budget, but $250 a week. And what happens is if they don't get a contract in the first month, they don't perform, then they're fired. So what happened is the $250 is a draw against commission. And as you can see, if they get a inbound contract and the house closes, it's $500 per inbound and $1,000 per an outbound. So if you can't get one contract in the month, you're probably not good in this business anyways for cold calling. Okay, so let's move on to our courthouse runner. This is a very simple job. It can be somebody that's older with a smartphone. We pay them $100 per $150 probate leads. Now, I can go to the probate office and probably pull about 50 to 75 leads in 1 hour. So all we require them is to basically work. This person is literally working $25 an hour for only 4 hours a week, essentially. Or if they're gun-ho, they can do it all in, a couple hours and be done for the entire week in 1 day, which is fine by me, whatever. Okay, then we have a sign placer. This person gets paid $1.50 per a sign, and they're responsible for putting out 100 signs a week. Now, this signs can be put out anytime during the week, but we like the majority of them to happen during the weekend, but we also like them to stay up. We do not go and collect these signs. These signs are, they're just there, and they get taken up by whoever wants to take them up, other wholesalers or the city. But I got a feeling it's a lot of the other wholesalers. Our acquisition manager gets 10% of the spread per a closed deal. So that's pretty simple. We all know what an acquisition manager does. They go out on appointments that are sent to them from the VA lead manager or the cold caller. Okay? And our disposition manager also gets 10% per closed deal. And if you can understand each of these guys should make around $5,000 to $10,000 a month working in our company. So with that being said, you can see the key players in our business. Now let's kind of break down what each person does and go into the roles. And if you notice here, most of everybody that runs this company is actually virtually and overseas. And you can see where I hang out is at the top because I chose to work on my business and not in it, right? So that my sole job is to go out and make sure those phones are ringing. So I'm in charge of marketing, anything that deals with marketing and any new lead sources that I can come up with or any type of ways to generate the phones ringing so that the lead manager and the cold caller, can do their job and it trickles downhill and it goes to everybody. All right. So the lead types, here are the lead types. And these are what we like in our company the most. So these are the only lead types that we work on 100%. Probate, right? Bandit signs, tax delinquent tax, however you want to say it. These are people that are delinquent on their taxes. We like to do at least by 2 years. North Carolina, we are a deed state, so you lose your house if your house is foreclosed on. We have this secret vacant list that I don't talk about, will never talk about, can't tell you what it is, but it's something we proprietary came up with in our company that has yielded us probably, $20,000 every single month since we got that list. Google AdWords, it's good. If you can afford it, do it. We spend about $2,000 a month on Google AdWords. And driving for $. It's how I found my first deal, and it's how I'm going to find my last deal. Okay? And obviously myself, I go out there and network with people in order to get JV deals and deals that don't actually cost money, just a little bit of time and relationship. Okay? Now in the next slide, we're going to break down the structure of how each lead flow goes into and who's responsible for what in our company. Okay? Probate. All right, so here's it goes. Our courthouse runner that we talked about, they collect 50 leads a day, 3 days a week. Takes an hour and a half to collect, 50 leads. Scan them with their iPhone and upload it to the Google Drive, which our admin VA has access to. Now, like I told you before, this person does not actually have to do it in 3 days. They can do it all in 1 day. It's totally up to them, as long as we get 150 per week, which is important to us. Okay, and our company has Google Suites, which everybody has an email, and we all share a drive, and everybody knows where things are placed to go check what they're supposed to be doing for their job. Our admin virtual assistant adds the data to a spreadsheet in Google Docs. So they take the information that is on the probate lead and they add it and separate it into Google Docs spreadsheet. Okay? Then the cold caller calls leads to find motivation, books an appointment for the acquisition manager. This is pretty simple, and you're going to see a pattern here as we move on. The disposition manager coordinates a closing with the lawyer and prepares houses for pictures, videos, and emails plus text blasts. Inspection day is set for the property, and then the acquisition manager goes out and puts the home under contract. Okay, so that is what we do for probates. Okay, moving on to Bandit Signs. Bandit Signs, we order 1,000 18 by 24 double-sided one-color Bandit Signs from Dirt Cheap Signs every 10 weeks. Okay, we actually order about every 8 weeks so that we have a runway time because their turnaround time is kind of slow. And I've checked everywhere. This is the cheapest you're going to get. So if somebody has a cheaper resource, please let me know. Or if somebody has a discount code or something, please give it to us because I would love to have it and pass it on to everybody else. Our sign placer puts out 100 signs in the city/county, wherever you are, and they do it every week religiously so that we can keep those phone calls coming in. Calls are routed to our VA lead manager and motivation is gauged, and the appointment is booked for our acquisition manager. So the CRM we use is InvestorFuse. It's very good. It handles our calls. We use CallRail, which is the initial point of where the phone call comes in, and then it's routed so we can track all of our marketing efforts. The acquisition manager goes on appointments, puts a home under contract, and the disposition manager coordinates a closing with the attorney and prepares the house to be sold. So this is easy. On our number 5 here, what we do is a highest and best offer sale on a lot of our hot properties. Will go as the highest and best offer sale. I learned this from Sean Terry, and kind of what it does is basically you are going to shoot out this email blast and text blast with a inspection day period, and this usually can happen on vacant houses or houses with the owner in. You just work that out with the owner, and these potential investors of yours can walk through the house for a couple minutes, and then we'll take the highest and best offer by a set time that day. Once the highest and best offer is accepted, you have the next business day by 10 a.m. to drop off the earnest money to the attorney with the contract, and then the contract is what we call secured. All right, moving on to tax delinquent. So like I said before, we are a tax deed state. Our tax list comes out sometime in April, I believe. That list is acquired by us, and each single one of those people on that list are verified by our admin VA, and they only take the people that are tax delinquent by 2 years. Okay, so she puts that in a spreadsheet, and then it goes to the same process. The cold caller calls, finds motivation, books appointments. Acquisition manager goes on the appointments, and the dispossession gets the house ready to be sold. So it's not hard here, guys. It's pretty simple. You just have to stick to it and do it religiously, and you'll definitely see results. Our secret vacant list, once we get this list, the list is traced and entered into Google spreadsheet, and the same process happened. It's cold called, the acquisition manager then goes on the appointment, the disposition manager gets the house ready to be sold. Okay, Google AdWords, all calls are routed to the virtual assistant lead manager, and motivation is gauged, and appointment is booked for the acquisition manager. And then the process repeats. The acquisition manager goes on the appointments and puts the house under contract. The disposition manager gets the house ready to be sold. So it's that simple. So we know our key players. You got the VA lead manager, the VA admin, the cold caller, the courthouse runner, the sign placer, the acquisition manager, and the disposition manager. So that is also another, that's who we need, and that's who we run. I like to run slim. I come from the technology world where we try to bootstrap our companies, where we don't go out and borrow any money. So we got to keep everything down and work efficient as possible. So if you guys want to add that stuff up, you can kind of see what it costs me every month to run the company. How do you find a virtual assistant? A lot of people ask. It's important. You need to find good virtual assistants. I'm going to tell you how. I developed a relationship with my virtual assistant. Her name is Alexis. She is my rock star. She goes out and finds anybody and screens them for me, and then does the preliminary interviews, and then I do the final interview and then tell her who I want to hire. Send her an email. It's alexis@cashhomestriad.com. She will do the same for you. Now here's up front. She will charge you $150 to set up and do the entire screening process till you get to the point where all you need to do is a Skype interview and tell her who you want to hire. Okay? then she's gonna be in charge of your virtual assistant, and you're gonna pay your first week in advance, right? So if you're getting 40 hours, it's set salary, you're gonna pay that in advance, and then every week after that, you're gonna be paying on a Friday. We pay through PayPal. Make sure you send us friends and family, because that fee, they can't afford to take that fee. It's on your end. You're already getting great labor at a great rate, so do it that way. Okay, so that's how I say you should find your VA. If you want to do it on your own, you can go to onlinejobs.ph. I will leave a link in the description below if you want to do that. Okay. Hey guys, so if you haven't yet downloaded my free ebook, please do so. It is completely free. It's therealmaxwell.com/ebook. Make sure you put the www.realmaxwell.com/ebook in your browser. Download it for free. It's kind of my 10 steps, some of the apps I use, how I got my first deal, and so on and so forth like that. I think you guys will greatly appreciate it. And, I took some time to write it. It's free. You can buy it on Amazon. I'd recommend you just getting it from me for free. And it's got some good material in there. And don't forget, I do a weekly live Q&A on YouTube. My vlog is up and running. Follow me on Instagram @TheRealMaxwell. And look, I want to make sure you guys go out and get your first deal. I hope showing you the structure of how our business is helps you and allows you to grow and scale. And like I said, this might not be perfect for anybody or everybody, but it works for us. And if you notice we do no mailing. There's no mailing involved. I like to spend the money on humans and get a touch and go forth. But if you guys follow me on Instagram and my YouTube, you already know how I feel about mail. So I hope this has been helpful. Don't forget to subscribe, share this video with a friend if they're gonna find it helpful. And if you learned everything, please hit that subscribe button, share it with a friend, and I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for tuning in.